did it.
See, this should be on.
I'm just
Well, there you go. And we're live. For anybody listening right now or watching, if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, if you hear a dog in the background, that's real. Teddy, our office dog, is hanging around right now and he's at the stage of his life right now where he barks at himself in reflections. So that is very possible to happen. So welcome everybody to episode 86. I am joined today by Andrea Frey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Contrary to your social last name.
Yes.
Okay. And Kris Frey.
Yep.
Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah.
All right. And if it's not confusing enough, it's spelled with a K.
Yeah. K and an F.
Christopher. That's right. That's right. A
Yeah.
K and an F. Christopher Frey. Christopher Frey.
Yeah.
Almost spray, Frey. You guys understand? We have a lot of things we're going to talk about today. A lot. I mean, you brought a lot of things that you want to
I did.
rando out at us. But I wanted to bring you guys on. You guys run our TC department, TC company, Cleared and Closed. For anybody listening right now, I'm shooting this now, but I'm about to take off. I'm hitting Detroit for a night, and then I have this fun thing where so I'm going to Mexico for a week, and I just checked the weather.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I'm coming back unrecognizable. I'm gonna come
That
back.
happened to you last year.
I'm coming back looking like a local, okay? And I don't mean local here. I mean there, okay? It's 85 and sunny every day. Oh my God.
Last year you went, was it Mexico?
Did I
Or
look
Jamaica?
different when I came back?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Looking at-
definitely.
Like, is that a good or a bad?
It was good.
All right, good.
Do you just beaching? Do you fish at all when you go down there?
No.
Okay.
No. No, I think Teddy hit the thing. No, we'll do we'll go on some excursions and whatever. Like we'll do like that kind of fun stuff, whatever. But I don't know. I'm not the deep sea fisherman type. You know what I found out? Maybe because I'm getting older or whatever. Like I used to love rides and spinning around and doing whatever. Now can't do them. And fishing, like when I'm on a boat, we were on last year, the year before, we went out scuba diving, and the boat, it was extremely windy, and they were questionable on whether they were even going to let us go, right? Like they were just like, we don't know if this is going to be okay, because when you're scuba diving, you get off the boat and it's like you have to get back on the boat and it's going crazy, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't going to let us go. And in hindsight, they probably shouldn't have. And I got so sick on that boat. And I've never gotten sick on a boat, but I'm like, maybe it's just what's happening now.
That happens when you get older.
That's what I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I think that's the case.
Yep.
But I literally at one point saw my life flash before my eyes because it was so difficult to get on the boat that some of the kids, they were legit struggling. They couldn't get on the boat. They couldn't get back on the boat. And it was like the waves were so big that they're like grasping for air. So now, this goes to your Bobcat story. But now I'm grabbing, I say kids, they're like almost teenagers now. And I'm like basically just trying to lift them up. The water's coming over my face. I'm just trying to get them onto the boat or whatever. And there was a moment there where I was legit like, this isn't good. Like,
wait, like your kids or random kids?
Or
both?
Well,
other people's kids.
Kids.
Yeah. Other people's children. Like they weren't, I don't think they were my children, but I just remember I remember seeing some kids struggling to get on, and I understood because it was not,
Mhm.
and there was a moment there where, we got on and the guy's like, yeah, man. No, it wasn't Jamaica. He's all like fun and happy. And I'm thinking to myself, do you realize what just went down here? Like, this got real.
That's
like,
just another day for them.
oof.
I always thought the cool thing about scuba diving was that even though the waves, are all like disappear, as soon as you get underwater, it's just pure calm.
Yeah.
Because the wave all on the surface.
As long as you can find your way back to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
What's your take on cruises? Would you do a cruise?
I did a cruise. I'm not a big cruise guy
You don't seem like
because
a cruise guy.
no, I'm not a cruise guy. I'm not, because here's the deal. Like math is math, right? Like if you put 3,000 people on a cruise,
Mhm.
there's still only one pool at the top. There's
Mhm.
only so much room, So yeah, they got the adults pool off in some atrium somewhere, whatever. But like, there's one pool for all these people. And so what I love about a resort is you got 8 pools, you spread people out, people go on excursions, people go, whatever.
Yeah.
On a cruise, look, these are first world problems. Because a bad day on a cruise is better than a good day, in the middle of winter here,
I would disagree, but that's me.
Okay, well, he loves the cold too, but
Yeah.
But my point being is that you just, when everybody has a designated time when you go to the pool, because it's not excursion day, it's not when we're stopping an island, it's not whatever. That's just a lot of people fighting. You know, what's that game with the chair? You try to like, who gets the
Musical
last
chairs?
chair?
Musical
It's
chairs.
musical chairs of pool chairs. We got 3,000 people and we have 35 seats. Let's see how this goes. You know, so not really my
You have
thing.
that one person who gets there at like 5 o'clock in the morning, puts their towel on there.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is mine.
Yeah. I might be that person. I'm up early on vacation. Like I can't, you know, it's because you got to think about it. You're eating and drinking like abnormally. You're in the sun all day long. So generally I have all of these expectations of like, oh, we're gonna be out late. We're gonna go to these shows. We're gonna go to whatever. By the time dinner's done, you know, I'm just kind of, I have no, hey, I'm good if you're good. You know, like one of those things. I have no problem going to bed early.
Yeah.
You know, that's my issue too. I'm like, oh yeah, vacation. I'll end up sleeping in. It'll be nice. And by sleeping in, it ends up being like, you know, like 7 o'clock.
Wow.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Sleeping in.
Yeah, you go to, I don't know. It's just I've hit the point in my life where it's not about how late can I go out. It's like, how early can I get into bed?
Mhm.
You know, like when I go to Nashville, like unless I'm there with my girl or I'm there with like some friends or whatever else, it's a 6:30, 7 o'clock in bed. Like I go to dinner and I'm back and it's the greatest thing in the world. Like what am I going to go hang around a bunch of 22-year-old bachelorette parties, you know, with just everybody's hammered drunk. Like what I got a keynote in the morning. I got a whatever. Like it's like 6:37, 7:30. I'm in bed and it's the greatest thing ever.
I'm not gonna lie, Nashville, when we went back, it was pretty late. and it
Oh
was
yeah,
a
you were
different-
6:37, 7:30, but there was an AM on yours,
Yes,
not a
yes.
PM.
I'm pretty sure it was 5:30.
You turned back the clock.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, you always talk this big game, you know, about how, you know, I'm boring, I'm this, I'm, you know,
I never
whatever.
said boring.
I'm just this, that's the overall, you know, you're like, oh, you know, I don't do this, I don't, whatever. But, you know,
No, I do that.
you hung I do that.
I can hang. No one
Uh,
believed me until then. And then, you know,
Well,
I
you
think it was- I think it was
all hung together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all nights that we went out, you were there the first night.
I wasn't out as late.
Yeah, I knew
Oh,
what it was
you
time
know,
to
the
say.
first night I was.
I think the first night you were.
Tuesday night I was not.
You were not. No, there was 4 of us left at the end of the night.
No, Tuesday night I went back with you when you hit up the.
I
food
checked
truck.
out. I checked
Yeah.
out when I hit up the what?
Food truck.
Oh, the food truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but with the crazy guy didn't even know it was happening.
Yeah.
When, like, Max
the
was ready to throw down?
Crazy guy giving you crazy eyes from behind.
He was like, I was ready to get attacked at a food truck and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, Max is rolling up his sleeve.
Yeah, bro, people are ready to throw down. I'm like, I don't even know this is going on right now. That was relatively early, right? That was like 11:30, 12.
I have no idea.
I turned, yeah. I
I don't
turned,
know when you left.
I turned it in early. Yeah, and you came back. Yeah, we turned it in. And then I guess, was that the night the video with the pool?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw you guys in the airport the next day. And I'm like, I don't even know if they'll remember this. Like this was, yeah.
I think, who was it? Joe was texting us about the sauna, telling us to come to the sauna at like 5, maybe like 4 or something in the morning. He didn't realize he texted the one that you're in. And we were like, Joe, that's the wrong group chat. I think I was like, where is it?
And knowing Joe, he probably had a heart attack after that. Like, oh my God, am I fired? Oh my God. Like,
Probably.
you know,
Not till
Joe,
the next morning.
you
Not till,
know,
like,
Joe,
12
yeah,
minutes
Joe,
later.
like with the anxiety, he's like, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? You know, it's
Yeah.
nice to know you guys have separate text threads that, I'm not supposed to see. It's,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. Well,
We have ours with
that's how
everyone.
culture is built, everybody. Just everybody's
Yeah.
listening right now. Keep the boss off the text thread. There you go.
And then we have the girls text thread too, where we say stuff that we can't.
You guys have
Same
a
for the
girls only
boys.
text thread?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know about
Yeah.
this.
I was going to say,
No,
I feel like we had a
no,
boys
just
only
like
when we
the-
get in
yeah.
trouble.
Oh,
Right?
no, you don't want to see ours.
The boys don't have a boys only, do we?
No.
Wow.
Oh, look
What
at
does that say about
Well,
the,
unless Tom and I are in it.
aren't you the head of the PPC? And they have things you don't even have? That's embarrassing. Okay. that's,
We need to talk about stuff that the guys can't hear.
I'm
and
with
that
you.
you don't want to hear.
I
Trust
feel
me.
like that right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually feeling like that right now. I'm good. I'm going to trust you on this one.
Yep.
I'm going to leave that alone. So awesome. Anyway, you guys, we're going to have some fun conversation here, in a second. But first, let's bore the crap out of you. No, we're going to have some fun conversation, but I do want to know, because I think this is something that people care about. It matters, whatever. You guys run, obviously, our TC company, Cleared and Closed. Where, you know, that's something where, you know, we actually provide transaction coordinators to agents really from all over the place. It can be anywhere, right? Because we create a customized workflow for them. You know, it's one of those things where people always have all these excuses. I don't know if I could use somebody somewhere. I don't. And then once they use someone, they're like, I could never use anybody again. Like this is, you know, this is heaven. This is whatever. What do you guys find is the reason that people tend to work with one of our TCs? Like what do you see as the main reason? Is it time? Is it craziness? Is it Jared said? Like what's the reasons you guys hear?
I would say time. I mean, one of my biggest agents that I've had since I started here, I feel like he goes on vacation every like at least once every like 2-3 months. Same guy. He also mentioned to me that he can never get rid of me because his wife threatened to divorce him if he did. But yeah, I mean, I would say time. I mean, I know like, you know, part of what we say is it's, you know, time that way you can generate business.
Right.
But I feel like it's also time to do things not business related.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, you know, like he's able to go on a lot more vacations.
Yeah.
You know, he's able to just sort of like take the time to have like a day kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Not just time to go work. It's like, hey, you could actually take time.
Yeah, maybe you can actually have like a lunch where you're not necessarily looking at your phone the entire time.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I, we have a rental property, and last year we hired on a property manager because that's what we realized that we need, you know, property manager for the same reason people might need a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have to be looking at my phone the entire time I'm in the office being like, oh, is the toilet, you know, not working again, or the burner on the stove not working. You know?
Is that why you did it, by the way? Were you getting calls and stuff and it was just like, I can't be dealing with this. I got a kid now, I've got whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let someone else handle this.
It's that kind of thing, you know, and just trying to find the time to also even just get there and that kind of thing and just deal with things with having a kid.
Yeah.
And also, like, you know, we had a vacation coming up in a few months, and it's just like, I don't want to have to be fielding, you know, these
Yeah.
phone calls from my tenants while I'm on vacation down in Florida.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing where we're there to sort of feel that, you know, like we see the emails coming in as a, you know, as a TC, and, you know, if anything needs the agent's attention, I text them like, hey, I just want to make sure you see this kind of a thing. I just want to make
Yeah.
your attention to it. But otherwise, you know, if they don't need their attention, we just, you know, we answer whatever questions come up. Kind of
Yeah.
thing
Right.
for them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also just having the extra support to having someone in your corner to help you with things. Like, even if you don't need all that extra help, just knowing that we're there to help you
Yeah.
makes them feel better.
Yeah.
You know, to remind them of certain things or whatnot. So I think it's having someone else.
Meaning this
besides
is coming
just
up. Hey, because you're
you.
getting all these updates on this is coming up. Make sure you
Mhm.
have this, make sure whatever. And it's just
Yeah.
like, they know that they have that structure, they have that order. This is a bad example, but it's actually very true as well. It's like, like when my kids are getting ready for something, or like we need to go to soccer or we need to go to whatever. They live so carefree in here because they know I'm going to say, guys, 15-minute warning. And they don't even
Yeah.
pay attention to the time. Like they're
Yeah.
just like, whatever, because they know dad's not going to let us miss it. Like we got it. And so obviously people we work with aren't children, but there's that sense also, that carefree to be able to do what you're doing and realize that it's not like you have to have this anxiety ridden, like what's next? Like, you know, that you got
Yeah.
mom or dad about to be like, hey, 15-minute warning, we're about to go, whatever. Or, hey, you need to be reaching out to so-and-so, or hey, the inspection request is due by, you know, whatever. Like I think that's a freeing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think most of the time it's not that they want us to take everything over and just do it for them. It's they want the extra backup, like just in case. You know, to remind them of things that they forget. Like you said, like they don't have to always zero in on everything because they know we're gonna say, hey, you missed this.
Yeah.
Things like that. So
Yeah. Or like, you know, paperwork comes in, needs to go into their system for compliance. You know, I've had an agent where he texted me right after. He's like, wow, you were so fast. I was going to put that in myself, and you got there before I did.
Do you work with a
Yeah.
lot of different systems? Like, I know there's a lot of different systems. There's SkySlope and Loop and all these different whatever. Like, I mean, I assume we're versed in all of these, and then I mean, I'm sure we've run across all of them by now.
mhm.
But God forbid one came along, they were all this. I mean, it's just kind of like once you know
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty much the same, similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally have, you know, Loop, SkySlope, app files,
Yeah,
zip forms,
yeah,
you know, and it's all obviously there's little idiosyncrasies here and there, be a little different, but I mean, it's pretty much, you know, pop in the file, pop in the documents, things like that. Send off for the e-signing.
Huh.
Pretty much the same.
awesome.
I think another thing is they always, a lot of the questions that I get, I know you probably did too, is like, oh, have you worked in this area? A lot of people are very concerned about having someone that has worked in that area before, but really it's like he said, even though it's different systems and stuff, it's all kind of the same.
Yeah,
It's the same process more or less. So it's not like,
Yeah, I'd say
it's
like
too different.
75% of everything is generally the same when it comes to real estate.
yeah,
There's always those little little tidbits here and there where it might
Specific to an area, specific to a brokerage.
Yeah.
Someone's an attorney state, someone's a title state, someone's a, something like that, obviously.
That's just our job to learn all the different areas. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was telling you guys this yesterday, right? So I'm like, I kind of nerd out on all of the stats and all the data of like what's come out the last couple of years and what happened through COVID and what's happening now and all that kind of stuff. And one of the data points that came out said that 25% of people who bought or sold during COVID felt like they didn't have a good experience with their agent. They didn't have a good, because, a lot of agents are listening right now that like they're going crazy. They're doing stuff. They're doing, and what I think, honestly, you guys are able to do is kind of provide that McDonald's fry experience, I always call it, right? It's like no matter where you go in the world, if you're in China, if you're in here, if you're whatever, wherever you are, fries taste the same. Like you know what to expect, right? And it's that kind of a thing, from the perspective of no matter how busy you are, no matter how not busy you are, no matter how, slammed you are, no matter how, whatever, you're away, you're not away, whatever it is. It's that idea of giving everybody that McDonald's fry experience, because that leads to more referrals. Like when people have that experience, when 25% say they didn't have a great experience, they didn't, they just didn't enjoy it, whatever. What's nice is that you have this person there. You're able to still be the front. You're still able to be the face. You're still able to be your best self at that moment because you're not trying to do everything else. You're not the duck above water with your legs going crazy below the water. You're able to actually focus on that experience with them. But in the meantime, their experience overall, I mean, you guys are following a 40, 50, 60 point workflow on everything that needs to be done, regardless of how busy or slow that agent is, meaning every person gets the exact same experience and there's no risk. You only pay if they close, right?
Yeah.
They don't close, you don't pay anything, right? And so it's not a new thing, but it's a new thing in the sense of the industry of people are actually getting really serious about it. And a lot of people are using TCs now, which is why I started a TC company, because I so believe in it. It's step one on our stages of growth as a team. But it is a new thing in the sense that not everyone's doing it. And that baffles me. Like when people say, what's the first thing you'd be doing, if you were to start your real estate business now, I'd be interviewing my TC immediately, before I had a deal, before I even had, I'd be creating my systems, creating my processes, creating my workflows, creating my, getting that set, getting to know them, help, the more work you spend with them in the beginning, the less you're going to spend from that point on. Yeah. So I can focus on making that engine go, making that thing go. And so what baffles me is how many people aren't using a TC. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Like it's there's no risk. Like there's no contract, the only place it's a contract. We don't talk about this often, but especially, the environment we're in now where brokers and such are looking, how do we maximize revenue? How do we, whatever. We probably don't talk about it enough, but we do offer a profit sharing for brokers, for team leaders, where they can actually, have their people use us. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit as far as like what that includes? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, when a team leader or broker sort of uses us through the profit sharing program, on their end, they're promoting us, helping to promote us to their brokerage or their team. And then, as their agents use us, the agents on board with us normally, kind of a sense, not necessarily normally. So part of our onboarding process is we have something called a workflow. It's a Google Doc, it shows day by day, step by step what the TCs handle. Part of our onboarding process is that the agent can customize that, since it's a Google Doc. That way, during, when we talk to them, we sort of help to customize that as well. Maybe edit this one task here, remove this one, add that one. And that way it matches their process and what they do through our transaction as much as possible.
Yeah.
And what we do with a broker or team leader is that instead we sit down with them.
Yeah.
We make sure that workflow is sort of matching what the broker or team leader wants from their agents.
Right.
And that way, when we onboard their agents, instead of having to do a more lengthy consult with their agents going over that workflow, we have this shell of a workflow.
It's kind of a whatever that broker or team is. It's like a this approved workflow that can still be edited by the individual agent. If they have specific things they do, but now you can kind of go to them and say, hey, we have a blank workflow, that we can use with you, right?
Yeah.
And it's what's really cool about it is the pricing doesn't change for that agent. It doesn't change for whatever, but then we take a dollar amount of that and it goes back to the broker, back to the team leader every month. So they're creating revenue, off of a service that they're legitimately not doing anything. They promoted it, they use it within their brokerage, they use it within their team, and then they get money back every month. And the agents don't even know what's happening. It's no different to the agents. The agents aren't paying anymore. It's not like they're making up for it. We just take a little bit of a loss on it, a little bit of a decrease to be able to pay that back because it works for us at scale, you know? And I think that's going to be a big push this year now, especially as brokerages are trying to figure out other ways to make revenue and other ways to whatever. I think that's going to be a big one for people. So,
and it just kind of streamlines it for the whole brokerage of everyone kind of using the same process. And, you know, they know that their agents are doing what they're supposed to be doing as opposed to missing things and not getting compliance in and stuff like that. Cause I think that's a big issue.
Yeah. Cause I mean, like we said, you know, obviously some of it in the beginning is us learning an agent's process.
yep.
And so if one of our TCs knows, agent number one, how they do things in a team, knowing how to do things for 2, 3, 4, and 5 is so much easier because we've already been doing the same exact process for this first agent.
Because a lot of them are using the same brokerage tool, you know, they might be using .loop or they might be using, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so once you learn that, it just makes it really simple. And again, customer experience. You know, and this is part of running a business. You know, there are, I don't even like calling them costs associated. There are investments associated with running a business, right? And so when you make those investments, the difference between an investment and a spend is that you expect a return on an investment, you know, and when you're hiring a TC and you're investing that money on every transaction, in order to, you know, have that go smoother, to free up your time to be able to do other things. When you're doing that, the hope is that, hey, you know, this is going to bring in more business. This frees me up to do more business, or this frees me, you know, whatever it is. And so, like I said, the amazement to me is how many people are not right now using a TC in the industry, because it's such an advantage when you go into a listing presentation, you work with a buyer, you work with a, you know, and that person who you do not have on a salary. You know, you're only paying them when they close, and yet they look like a member. Don't even think of it as a member of your team, because some of you listening have these triggers with teams. You had a bad experience with a team, and you know, you hear the word team and you shudder. It's like Mufasa in The Lion King with the hyenas. If you guys remember that. It's a great example. But it's like that kind of a thing where like they hear Mufasa and they're like, you know, they hear team and they're like, oh my God, you know, whatever. It's organization. So it is just an organization. Like it's part of your organizational structure that is needed for growth, which is needed for continued growth for all of these things. So before we kind of get into our rundown, any final words of anything that we need to make sure people know, or for anybody listening, you know, you just go to clearedandclosed.com. We'll have it in the description below on this podcast on YouTube, and maybe even in the actual write-up. I'm not sure how that works, but clearedandclosed.com. And guys, there's no risk. Like literally, go have a consult with a TC. It's life-changing. Like I can't stress this to you guys enough. There's no contract, there's no nothing. And if you're a broker, you're a team leader, and you want to look at doing, you know, some kind of a profit sharing or whatever, your people don't even know that you're in a profit sharing. You're just getting a check every month. So reach out to us. You know, we'd be glad to chat with you and figure out what's best for you. And you know, it's just running a business. It's smart. Any final words on any of that before we hit our rundown?
I would say definitely, if you're going to do it now, because obviously with the springtime, everyone gets busier and you want to have all your systems, you know, if you're signing up with us, you want to have all your systems in place already.
Yeah.
So that we can kind of just jump into it once you do get busy in the next coming months.
Yeah.
I feel like people sometimes they say, oh, I don't have time to sit down and go over this with you guys and all this stuff. So it's really better to do it now.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting a few months, because if you're going to get busy, have it all set up now. That way you can just jump right into it.
By the way, Tom, you can just lift the bell. He's a complete fraud. Just so you know. Yeah, just lift the bell. He's a fraud. He just wants to go outside at this point. Okay.
You know,
Nice out. He wants the sun.
My dog, for anybody listening, my dog hits the bell to go outside. And he's at that point in his life where he's not only learned how to use it to go outside, to use the restroom. There's no restroom for a dog, but you know what I mean? But he has now learned that I want to go outside. Let me hit that bell. Okay. So he's a fraud. He hit it about 5 minutes ago, and now he just hit it again, and he never went over to the food or the water. So this is the game he plays. And once he finds a willing participant, he will keep hitting that bell. Okay. So anyway.
You know, actually my dog's the same way.
Yeah.
Especially now with now that the baby's in the walker. Now that the baby is a bit more mobile, she definitely rings the bell because she wants to try to escape.
Oh, yeah.
Outside where she can't be
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sit down.
He doesn't have that same problem when it's freezing outside. We have a little bit of a nice day today. He went out there and now he's like, I'd like to just go sit in the yard, but unfortunately he's still at the age 2. He will run to another yard. So
Has he seen the geese yet though?
he has not. The good thing is I don't think the geese have seen him either. I think he's the size of a dog where we got to worry more about him than the geese. Yeah. Anyway, any final comments before we get into
No, I was gonna say I want to agree with Andrea in terms of like timing and everything, because I feel like sometimes we have agents that come to us when they are sort of like just trying to keep their head above water. All of a sudden they went from like, oh, I have, one contract going on right now because it's, January, February.
Yeah.
Then March comes along and all of a sudden, all 6 of their buyers happen to actually get accepted offers.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what do I do now? Like, I need help. Like, I'm being overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm trying to answer emails here and there.
like hiring an assistant too late.
Yeah.
And they're like, just fix my business, get my CRM in order, and it's like, no, I should have been here beforehand before, you've got me in here trying to, wax the floors and there's a tornado outside.
I mean, just because you onboard with us now doesn't mean you have to start with us now. You can onboard with us now, do all the consults,
That's a good point.
Get the workflow set up. And then, if you have 1 or 2 going on right now, you don't necessarily have to have us on those, but all of a sudden when you do get busier and you really do need that help to make sure you can stay above water, then we hop right on.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people who listen to this, they go, well, can't I just have my assistant be the TC? Because they're the same personality profiles, right? It's a high S, a high C. Like, can I have them do the same thing? And look, if you're asking that question, I don't blame you. Like, it's a logical question. It's just the answer is no. And the answer is no for this reason. If they're doing their job well, you're going to get more and more business, right? So now they're splitting the roles. They're doing the assistant work, which really the assistant work in the beginning is a lot of marketing work, which is not what a TC does, okay? And the idea of that assistant is to do a lot of marketing as well in the beginning, right? And the idea is that they're bringing in business that then they need to be able to have to do more TC work, right? And so the problem is that if you're doing well with it and they start getting busy, now they're splitting marketing and TC. And the question is, once they get too busy and everything starts getting crazy, which one are they going to give up on? And the answer to that question is they're going to give up on marketing and focus on TC because they're going to manage your transactions. That is the more immediate threat, so to say. That is the more, whatever. And the problem with that is once they start focusing only on TC, now you don't have your marketing going, which means pretty soon you're not going to need a TC because you're not going to have. Yeah. And so this starts to add up in a way where, yes, they seem similar. And there is a Venn diagram of sorts, where there are some things that are similar, but then there's things that are not. And so while it may seem like the right idea, it's one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. My assistant can be my TC. No, but here's the beauty. When you have your assistant who's doing your marketing and those things and following up on showings and doing showings for you and whatever, the nice thing is the TC who's doing the TC work, which is technically the more immediate attention, more immediate work, it's only when you need them. There's no risk. I keep saying this. So if there's a lot of transactions going on, then you pay more per transaction when you close. If there's not, there's not. But you keep that assistant doing what they're doing consistently to try to create a system where there's a pipeline that's occurring. Okay. And so that's the main thing I want to make sure that everybody understands who's listening right now. Just because they're the same personality profile, an assistant and a TC should not be doing the same job, because when the crap hits the fan and everything gets busy, they got to pick one over the other. That's how it goes. Okay. And when they go to pick one over the other, it's going to be the immediate threat, the one that matters, which is going to be the active transactions, which means what stops? Marketing. Okay. So no, it shouldn't be. You need to have one who's doing one and one who's doing the other. And the first hire is always the TC first because there's no risk. Okay. And that's the beauty of that. But your TC is not your marketer. They're not your, okay, that's called, again, organizational structure. So something for you all to kind of just chew on. I know I get asked that question all the time. And that's the answer to that question. Okay. So one more time, guys, if you're listening to this or you're watching this, make sure to go check out clearedandclosed.com. And guys, no risk to go have a consult. Like, talk to this person who could potentially change your life, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you ever met that person, go on a date, you don't even know this person, it's blind, you're like, what is this, whatever. Next thing you know, you're married to them, they changed your life, and who knew in the beginning? Well, you're not going to marry your TC, but at the same time, you never know. Tom's going, you never know. I'm going to say maybe that gets added to the company handbook, okay? You cannot marry your clients, okay? We just had a handbook meeting, so everybody knows we just had a handbook meeting yesterday. That's fun stuff.
It's not in there.
It's not in there.
It's not in there. So
About marrying TCs?
Yeah.
Of course it's not in there. What do you mean it's not in there? There's a lot of stuff that's not in there. It doesn't mean it's pretty understood. Okay. Like, for example, when one of you needs to use the restroom, I expect you to go to the restroom, not the corner of the office. Didn't put that in the
But I was gonna
handbook.
say, not in the handbook.
Yeah, not in the handbook.
So
Your letter of the law. Okay. Anyway, you have a rundown. I wasn't planning on doing this, but you have a little bit of a rundown.
some hot seat questions.
Yeah, let's do it. Like, let's
right.
let's do this. Let's go.
Well, first I want to talk about Jared becoming a small dog person because you said you're not.
I'm not a small dog person. I have a small dog.
But are you
There's a
becoming
difference.
a small dog person? You're drinking Starbucks. You didn't drink coffee before.
That's true.
You drink Starbucks now.
I blame that on Linda.
Do you bring Teddy into Starbucks with you sometimes?
Are you asking, have I ever? Because I feel like these are misleading questions.
Do you? Have you? Or do
Have
you?
I?
Yeah.
Okay, he was a puppy. I can't leave. I'm not going to leave him at home in the crate. Like, whatever. But like, it's like, okay, do I take him with me or do I whatever? I'm not the guy that brings him everywhere. But when he was a puppy, we may or may not have walked in.
He's like 2 months old.
He may have been in my hoodie. May or may not.
Uh-huh.
I cannot confirm or deny. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I've always been a big dog person.
Yeah.
Medium dog. I don't know the difference. Like a medium size, like 55 pounds.
Mhm.
Is that medium
that's
or big?
medium.
Okay.
I will say for someone that owns a over 70-pound dog that does not get in and out of the car by itself.
There you go.
Uh,
It's looking
I
attractive.
can see the merits of having a small.
There you go.
Oh, for sure.
He's looking at Teddy a little differently today.
Listen, when I had my
My
90,
back appreciates it more.
yeah, I had my
That's
90
crazy.
pound dog and he had anesthesia and I couldn't get him out of the car for 2 hours.
I remember the
I had to sit on the side of the road outside my house until it wore off enough for him to get out of the car.
Isn't
So,
that just
yeah.
one of those things where you're just sitting there going, I know that I'm going to get through this. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Like if I were to flash forward to tomorrow, I know that somehow this gets fixed.
Mhm.
Just not sure right now how that happens.
Yeah. The UPS guy dropped off a package. He's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good."
It's
Good, I'm
That's
just
great
sitting
when
here.
the UPS guy is like, are you
Yeah.
gonna be okay?
Help. I'm like, "You can't help me. It's fine."
Probably good if you still with heavy packages. Actually, probably be the perfect help.
I was actually thinking, like,
True.
what has Brown
Yeah.
done for you lately?
Yeah.
I mean, you missed an
I-
opportunity. You're the person. God sends you a helicopter to save you from. You're like, no, God's gonna save me.
Yeah.
And then sends an airplane. No, God's gonna save me. You're that person.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I do see the appeal of carrying. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I had but for me, small dog is like 20 pounds.
Well, that is a small dog.
Yeah.
It's just a smaller. Like when you can't find. Okay, so I went on to like try to find. Nowadays, you don't have to buy a dog fence. You can actually just get a collar and you geofence it. Like this is amazing. Like I'm like, how did I not know this existed? Right. So
Mhm.
I'm like, awesome. Let me go check that out. Think they have one for my size dog?
No.
No, it starts at 15 pounds. You know what my dog would have to do to weigh 15 pounds? I'd have to put a 15-pound weight on him.
Yeah.
And then he'd be dead.
Yep.
And I don't want that to happen. Okay. He just weighed in at 2.6 pounds.
Which is more than he was before.
Which is significant. That's about
Yeah.
50% raise
Yeah.
right there. I
Exactly.
mean, it is, look, my boys wanted a little pup. What does he want about? My boys wanted a little pup. Okay. They were very specific about this. I said, guys, I'm more of a big dog guy. I'm more of like a, medium size, something like that. And he's, I don't know. You want to check on him, see what he's doing. If he's whining at the door, then maybe give him another shot.
Watch out for that dog.
Although he's still, that's why there's a dog out there. I wouldn't bring him out right now. But he's more of I was like, I don't know. But then I also travel a lot. Right. And so I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. But then we have somebody now that will take him every time or whatever, which is nice. But I just never, there's just different challenges with a little dog that I never figured.
Mhm.
I also can't have a yapper. Like when he like barks at something, I'm just like, ugh! Like I'm just like enough. Like, I don't like yappers.
Yeah.
He's cute as heck. He's a little cuddly thing. He's still a puppy. He'll get a little bit bigger. He'll be between 5.5 and 7 pounds. But I did never see myself having, but it was all my kids. It's what they
Mhm.
wanted.
Yeah.
So if they're happy,
That's true. When I went to Petco, because we were trying to figure out how to corral him in the office without having him just run free if everyone was busy. So I go there to get one of those.
probably just put up some dominoes.
Well, I could have, because I went there and I'm like, oh, we just need a little pen or something. And he's like showing me the bigger pens. And I'm like, yeah, but he's kind of small. And he asked me how big. And I told him, he's like, oh no, come with me. And he brought me to the small.
Bring you to the rodent section.
Yeah. And he's like, here's the guinea pig pen.
You know what? That's blasphemy. Okay.
It works.
He's a real dog.
It
You
works.
got him a rodent pen?
The one yesterday that you saw him in?
That's a
That was-
rodent pen?
Yeah,
For guinea pigs, yeah.
for guinea pigs.
Is it?
And it keeps them perfectly contained.
I
and
have some
happy.
guinea pigs his size or bigger, so I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's a good investment.
I hate you both. Okay. All right. Anyway, small dog, I wasn't, but I do love Teddy, but you know, that was all for the children. This one's for the children.
But his we have his Instagram.
We do have an
going.
Instagram.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yep.
Teddy James today.
Yeah, Teddy.
So I'm Jared
Teddy
James today. He's Teddy James today.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that
have
was
all my friends following it.
that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, we might want to give him a shot now. Maybe that dog's by now. Anyway, yeah, so he's got his own little thing there. I haven't had him in the office as much lately. And I'm not gonna be, my God, I'm leaving. I'm gone a lot coming up. I've got an event I'm going to, and then I'm literally, like I think I told you, I'm flying from my event to the airport. I've got my friends bringing my kids to the airport. I'm meeting them all there. We're going on a big family vacation, me and a couple other families. And then I drop my kids. I'm right off to Vegas. We got R4 for Remax going on. I come back. I've got my son's soccer tournament like immediately. Like I'm just realizing right now I'm gonna sleep in my bed tonight for the last time in like, geez,
Weeks.
This got depressing. This is, God, yeah, this is wow. This is gonna stink. Anyway, thanks for your list.
Well, on that note, R4, since that's coming up.
Mhm.
So I will be going to that, the
Mm,
sales guys.
that's right, you are. Yeah.
Yes, to represent TCs and talk about TCs.
All right, that'll be
Um,
cool.
Yeah, so I've never been to Vegas, so
How is that possible?
I've never been anywhere.
I don't even understand how that's
Joe hasn't
possible.
been either.
Joe
To
hasn't been
Ve-
either.
See, now this is where I realize like my world is so much different. I'm
Mhm.
so sick and tired. I'm there like every other week. It's like that's where all events are: Vegas and Nashville, Vegas and Nashville, Vegas and
I'd
Nashville,
never
like
been there
over and over.
either until
Yeah. So Vegas,
October.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Vegas is another one that for the most part, unless I'm with like really good friends or with my girls, I go to bed early. I do enjoy a good pool party. I will say that. Like if I got there early enough on like a Saturday or something, I would love to go to like the pool party,
Mhm.
just sit on the side, watch the shenanigans. I'm all about it.
I would love to say we're gonna go to bed early, but I don't.
You don't have that.
I don't see that
You
happening.
better be at that booth when you're supposed to be at that booth.
I'll be at the booth. That's not the issue.
Oh my
So,
God.
you know, but any tips or any,
Well, just remember there's no clocks inside
No clocks
there's
inside?
no clocks inside?
in the casinos.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah. they
Well,
don't-
when would you ever
they-
look for one?
They
You
don't
have a,
want
you
you
have
to know
a,
what time it is.
well, you have a
That way you're
phone.
constantly at the table.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say the most
Huh.
depressing place on the earth, no lie. So I like to get up early because it's a 3-hour difference. So like, you know, I'm up really early there. And so I'll get up early in Vegas and I'll go for a run. When you walk through that casino in the morning and everybody's there, like just betting their last dollar, this is going to be
Mm.
the one, you know, daddy needs a new pair of shoes and it's sad. When someone's still there at 5:36 in the morning and they do not look happy and
Yeah.
they're just still betting, I'm just like,
I'll do like the
something's
dollar
wrong.
bet and that's it. That's my limit.
You know what I don't understand is like, you're probably talking about this right now, but like, you know, when you sit at the what do you
Like the
call it?
penny slots?
Yeah, it's doing the slots. Just click, click, click. I'm like, what could be more mindless than this?
Yeah.
I can't do it. And then you go to take a thing and some old lady comes over. That's my seat. You know, I just got up to use it. What, like, I mean, this happens, guys. This is real.
That's when you get arrested in Vegas for
Oh.
fighting an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's for real. And mainly she started it. Like, you know, she'll start it.
Yeah.
She'll throw down.
Oh,
There's no doubt
they're
about it.
mean.
Oh, if you sit at a table and you pick the wrong, or you hit at the wrong time or something.
Mhm.
Oh my
the-
God.
The blackjack players.
Oh my
yeah, if
God.
You hit when you're not supposed to. Not happy.
You know, because now you messed up the thing. It's like you're down 50%. Maybe this deck needs to get messed up. Maybe. Or maybe you just want to be angry at people. Okay? Maybe.
For both.
Anyway, so you guys are actually in there for a while though. Like I'm coming in late. So I come in late Sunday, like late. And then I got to do a thing Monday for the elite people. I'm doing an interview on the expo floor with Nick Bailey, the CEO, which is weird to even say, just Nick on whatever. And then opening day, I think is Tuesday. I think like
I think, yeah.
opening main sessions, I think
Yeah.
are Tuesday. Nick will open that up. opening day day 2 opening day I'm doing Wednesday. That'll be fun. That's gonna be cool because you have a packed arena, but then you're gonna there's so many virtuals. Like you don't even think about that. There's way more virtual than there are there live. You know?
Really?
And I always say this. I feel like an arena like that is easier than a small room, for me at least. It's just like, especially if they know you, it's just energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like your job's not to screw it up. I do need to think of some jokes because I haven't thought of any jokes yet. I haven't really thought about it. Like I need to think of some jokes.
True.
Nothing.
I don't know what kind of crowd it's going to be. So
Oh, no, when you say you like the arena better, I'm just picturing people doing the wave for you. So
I don't know if that's ever happened there. Maybe we'll give it a shot. Maybe you guys come up front and you start.
Not going over well.
I would start laughing if you guys were sitting up front and just randomly I saw the two of you go like this and then sit back down. And I would know what you were doing, but nobody else would know what was happening. Yeah, you guys just give it a shot and see how that goes.
They're not
Okay.
even next to each other. You have to have like all three of them spread out. So that way one starts,
One
the
on
next one
either
goes.
side.
Yeah, and that actually looks like just a three person.
Then you have an awkward pause, and then you start again, and you hope maybe 4 or 5 catch on, and then you start again, and you hope you get up to 6. Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like a what do you call it? Like a lawnmower. It's like it goes a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden it starts going, right? Like that's what we're talking
I
about.
feel like the social experiment we're going to turn it into.
Hey, do it.
Yeah.
You have my backing. You guys go for that.
That's funny. I was trying to plan out what to wear clothing wise, and I realized
I know
I'm the
you were
only
talking-
girl going.
Yeah, you were
so I
talking to
can't
me,
even-
and I'm like,
yeah, I asked him for suggestions. I'm like,
I'm
what
the
clothes
wrong-
do I need?
I'm the
And
wrong
he's
guy.
like, I don't know.
I'm the one guy that'll be at like the fancy function, and I've got on like jeans and a t-shirt and like a pullover thing or whatever, like our hoodie or something. Like I haven't followed dress codes for I can't even tell you how long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I asked Alex and Joe, and they're no help. So
No, what are they gonna do? They're
They're-
like,
yeah.
I'm wearing a cocktail dress.
Right.
Like what do you
wear
you know?
shoes. I don't know. Like,
Would you talk to Linda? Talk to Linda. Like
yeah. I
although
could.
she's kind of last second, but she'll have something. She'll probably bring like one nice thing just in case.
Yeah.
If I know her, she'll bring like one nice thing, just in case, and then she'll like mix and match or do something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
She looks good in whatever.
True.
I mean, I feel like she could pull off like she does. What do you call them? Like the black pants that girls wear? Are they yoga pants or what are they called? Like the black pants that you could either wear like exercising or you could wear with like a sweater and it looks like you're more dressed up.
Leggings.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Leggings. Yeah, tough word. What? I'm supposed to know this? Okay.
Every girl looks good in leggings.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's what I was gonna say is that I feel like women can like pull off like they can wear like one pair of leggings and then so many different tops that they just like mix it up.
That was
It's
actually my plan, is to bring the leggings and black leggings.
Like
so you
I'm
can
saying.
dress it up. Yeah, put the
What-
boots on.
what's the male equivalent to that? Leggings.
What, that anyone looks good in?
No, but like I don't think we have a universal like that because you guys could dress it up, dress it down with one pant.
Yeah.
You know, we have jeans or
No, you
slacks
don't have that.
or joggers. Those are completely different things. Those are breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
They're 3 different things. Like it's, you know, women are lucky in that way. We can't get away with some male equivalent leggings and a, you know, whatever. We have to be all in on whatever we're doing.
True.
Yeah.
Although I think my shoes are going to take up like my entire suitcase. So,
Yeah. So I assume you're checking the bag.
no, I'm gonna make it work.
I'm sorry, what?
I
You
don't
get
think
those
they
shoes
are.
in there. Well, that's good.
I'll make Joe or Alex take something else of mine and put it in their suitcase.
That's a good idea.
Make them take it.
Oh, you could do
take
the
my
whole
hair
big, you could
straightener.
do the big purse thing too.
Yeah.
Like an old Italian
Yep.
woman,
Yeah.
and you just like throw like a house on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and you could put more in there than you can in the suitcase.
Yeah.
That's
make
how
it
you
work.
do it. You do like the purse is carrying you.
Yes.
That's how big the purse should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, most of mine are bigger than me, so
That is true.
fine.
I'm actually, so before I go to Mexico, I have a bag for tomorrow when I leave for my overnight in Detroit. And then I have a bag for Mexico. And what I'm hoping to do is I hope I land at the airport before my friends get there with my kids. And I'm hoping I can pass off my bag from the overnight
Mm-hmm.
to their car, which I'll get at another later date. And then they'll have my bag for Mexico that they're going to pass on to me. And I'm hoping it's going to work out like that. Otherwise, I'm bringing a completely useless bag to Mexico.
You're not gonna be
Mhm.
doing all this passing of bags in front of TSA, are you?
No, no, no,
They might have some questions for you.
I'm gonna
just
go out
saying.
today. Well, they usually do. They usually do. Well, this isn't relevant to anything, but I've been so spoiled in airports, like because I go through clear, they clear my eyes and I walk right through. I was in I forget some other country the other day, and I had nothing, no status, no nothing. Holy moly, is this what everybody goes through? I mean, the shoes are off, the belt is off, the jacket's off, I gotta take the toiletries out. This bag of toiletries is too big, computer out. Do you have this? What's that? I'm like, good Lord.
They don't
What
even-
are we doing here?
Yeah, that's a normal
Oh my God.
thing.
Now, for the record though, I travel a lot. So like I don't generally have to deal with that. But like if I was doing that every time, I don't know. I become like John Madden. I just ride buses everywhere. Which a lot of you probably don't get that reference, but that's all he did was ride buses. He wouldn't fly. But holy I mean, that was a lot of like, and the guy, I was like, I'm not used to do it. He actually said to me, he goes, "You're a clear member, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm not even sure." He's like, "Yeah, man." And he even said, he's like, "This is what we make everybody do." It's just, that was insane. I felt like violated.
Yeah, well, I suggested doing a road trip if we couldn't get any flights, and that got shot down real
To
quick.
Vegas?
Listen, it was a last minute. If we had to, we'd kill each other. But
A road trip?
yeah,
Good Lord, no.
well,
That's
we.
that's insane.
Oh, you
I
just-
almost went, you know what's crazy? The price of flights has gotten so expensive, like so expensive. We were going to I'm going in April to Orlando with my kids because my son has a soccer tournament with like, I don't know, 13, 14 different countries or something. It's gonna be amazing.
Mhm.
And flights there, because it's in April, which is another spring break time, were like 1,200 to 2,000 per ticket for direct flights for every place I was looking at, like insanity, right? I literally went on what's it called? The private place. JSX, is it JSX?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't ever fly.
I think it's let me just real quick here. I think
I mean, if you're getting private jets, I mean, the Advance would be a nice one to fly us all down there, you know.
We did have a plan to work on you for that.
JSX.
Which-
Okay. So
Still
JSX,
Yeah.
I looked on JSX. Now you're flying private, like pull up at the airport, pull up onto the tarmac, right? $600 a ticket.
Hmm.
It was more than half as much, half as less as flying commercial, going like Delta, JetBlue, Spirit, you know, whatever it was going to be, $1,200 to $2,000 a ticket. Freaking private was $600 a ticket to go to Orlando. That's insane. Luckily, I found something out of New Haven that was actually even cheaper. But like most people wouldn't even know to check that. Like you wouldn't even think like
Yeah.
sometimes it's worth checking. You can go Westchester right to Orlando, like, you know, which $600 is expensive. But for some of the things, the prices we pay for tickets right now, like you guys know I fly all the time. Some of the
Mhm.
ticket prices right now, it's bonkers.
So would it be smarter?
Are you talking about Nashville?
No. Would it be smarter for you to just get your own private jet?
Hey, someday.
Because then, like, you know, when we go to the Advance or like,
Oh, so really it comes back to, so you have a ride.
I mean, if you fly that much and it's that expensive, like
It is
what if-
getting,
what
it
if
is getting
the-
crazy expensive. Like
Right.
commercial prices have become, I don't know how they must be limiting the number of flights because the flights are all full. But there's no way people have the money to be paying this. Like when I look at, you know, even when we're going right now to Mexico this week. So I ended up finding something, but like, again, it was 1,200 to 2,000 a ticket. How is a family doing that? Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody's, you know? So I ended up doing, this is why we're flying out Friday instead of Saturday. I started doing some research and I found out we can get really cheap flights to Orlando. And then Saturday morning, we can get really cheap flights from Orlando to Mexico. So instead of it being 1,200 to 2,000, it ends up being like 400 a ticket in total.
Yeah.
But we stay an extra night in Orlando. So I knew to kind of look around like that, but I'm looking at these ticket prices every year and I'm like, how is a family going on vacation? Like
And that's just a plane.
that's insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's more than the resort.
Mhm.
Like people will find a great price on a resort and then they'll go to get the tickets. They'll book the resort and they're like, all right, now we just got them 5 tickets. They
Yeah.
start looking around and they're going, I don't understand how people are doing it. It's Bonkersville. So then we're going to stick around. We're going to do a little bit of Orlando while we're there, stay a couple extra days. But we were talking about this beforehand. Disney's got some interesting stuff going on right now.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think there might be a sale coming, you know, when you look at it. I was actually just looking, it's actually on my, what do you call it right now? My Google search, whatever. I'm going to get this book actually for vacation by Bob Iger. Bob Iger took back over as the CEO of Disney, and he just split Disney into 3 different sectors. Right. And if I remember correctly, it was basically like the Disney Plus, that kind of a thing. It was the, you know, Disney theme parks and those things. And it was ESPN and the streaming and that stuff. Right. Because ESPN is bleeding money right now. Whenever you see somebody, especially who comes in to fix a company that's bleeding money, ESPN, split into parts like that, it's because there's a sale coming. And so I'm like, is there a sale coming? Is he about to sell off a major division of Disney? No different than what's his name took over at Zillow. Guys, why can't I remember anything? This is driving me. Rich Barton.
Yeah.
So just like Rich Barton coming back in and taking over Zillow, right? And it's like, hey, we're getting rid of iBuyer. We're getting rid of, you know, and they're basically saying less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you know, yeah, we have all these divisions, but this one's killing us, right?
Mhm.
And ESPN, from a channel perspective, has been bleeding money. Ever since they went political on everything, nothing is sports. It's like everything is some kind of political line. Everything is woke. Everything is whatever. Their viewership has completely plummeted. And then when you look at the people have other options, you know, they have other debate shows in the morning. They have other, you know, whatever. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with them. But I'm bringing it up because I'm interested to see, because I'm going to be going to the parks in April, which technically is busy.
Mhm.
But they made a decision to raise prices on the parks in order to try and have less people in the parks. And so I'm waiting to see, like, what's that going to be like? Because I do not do well with crowds. I can't stand, like,
Yeah.
it's weird because I'm around crowds all the time, but like in that setting, I'm not waiting an hour and a half for a ride that lasts 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
You should do the VIP.
I looked at that. You talking about the Fast Pass or whatever?
No, there's literally a VIP service that they do at Disney where you have an actual cast member, because they're all called cast members,
Yeah.
instead of employees.
Yeah.
That will just bring you around. Usually celebrities and stuff do it, but you
Really?
don't have to be.
That sounds awfully expensive for me and my
Last
2
time we were
boys.
there, Keegan Michael Key was doing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he?
Yeah.
I wonder what that costs.
Uh,
I'm assuming it's more than a Fast Pass upgrade.
oh yeah,
Uh,
I don't know how much, but I'm very sure.
I'm not sure, but we'll have fun. We're gonna stay right across from Universal. My son is a big Star Wars guy. He's into Star Wars. He's into. We love going to the Harry Potter world,
Mhm.
even though I've never seen one Harry Potter. I enjoy going there. We get butterbeer. Not one.
So is he gonna make a lightsaber be like Star Wars?
That's the thing he wants to do. So
Yeah.
like, I can't figure out how to do it. So I'm like on the computer, I'm trying to sit down. There's so many options. I can't see where you make a lightsaber. That's the thing he wants to do.
Do you need help?
Yes.
Because I made one.
Are you being for real?
I made one when I was there. Yeah.
Don't you play with me. You're on
Yeah,
you're on video.
I have one, and my wife has one.
Are you for real?
They go all the
Is it
time.
too late? Can I still do it?
Actually, if anything, it might be too early,
Let's go.
because it's a weird, like,
I was just
time-
waiting.
A lot of their stuff is time frame for reservations.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can't make your dining reservations until like 30 days out or something like that. It's usually you can't book the stuff too far ahead of time.
I that's a one thing he told me, because he wanted to stay in that new Star Wars world. I looked that thing up
It's not
for
cheap.
3 people for 2 nights.
Yep.
3 people for 2 nights. You guys do the math on that?
Yeah.
$5,500.
Yep.
What in the world?
Yeah.
What happens? Do we become an actual Jedi?
Like,
Like, is that what's going on? Like,
the entire thing is some special experience where, you know, you get to choose your role or something. You get to go and do little quests and adventures throughout the parks and everything like that.
5,500. That means
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to justify the
that
price.
means that if we were a family of 4 going, it's like $7,200. Like, are you out of your mind? You know, like, come on, that's insanity. That's
I love Star Wars. I have a pair section in my basement that
Yeah.
has a bunch of Star Wars stuff on
yeah.
shelves. I'm perfectly fine waiting for that price to drop.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. That is, just redirect him. That's absolutely insane. Like, that is like, I think about if you did that over 7 nights,
Yeah,
you're
for
gonna
the
drop
same-
30
for
something
the same
grand
price,
to go and, you know?
same price you go on a week-long cruise.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's insane. So that's not, I already told him that's not happening. So his next thing was, because he sent me a link to it. He didn't know what it cost though. And look, here's the thing with me, right? Like, I don't mind spending money, but I'm also, I would say frugal, like in the sense that like, I don't like wasting money.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I do not like wasting money. Like, it's just not my thing. It's, I don't mind spending on the right things and doing, whatever, but I do not like getting taken advantage of. I don't I just don't like that, and that felt very, predatory,
lot.
You wait long enough, those prices will drop. I mean, even recently, I think once Bob Iger came back, he mentioned the fact that the Disney Vacation Club members are going to be getting a discount for the Star Wars hotel.
Yeah. So you were saying that that's going to start happening. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Like,
good.
they
We're
got-
just going, look, man, we're just going in for a day, or like, we're going to be there, but I'm just going to do like a day or two at each one. We're going to do some park hoppers. Maybe I'll do around the world, Epcot. Hope I don't run into anybody.
you, see, you always have in your head, oh, around the world, it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
And then you realize those countries are a lot closer together than you think.
You know what, man? It
You haven't
catches
finished-
up.
you haven't
It
finished the
catches
first
up.
drink yet, and
It catches up.
Oh, I see people, and it looks like such big, like sugary drinks too. I
That's-
see like
well,
two,
you also
and
tend to forget how many countries there actually are in Epcot, and you're just like, oh, this is starting to add up
This
real
is
fast.
this is
Yeah.
what country am I in? Like, literally, not here. I mean, literally overall. Like, I have no idea anymore.
I will say, one time we were there, we saw a bunch of college age guys doing it right. They had the motorized scooters, because you don't actually have to like.
I don't think they're allowed to legally drive those once they've had too many.
Well, because you don't have to like have anything physically wrong with you to be able to rent them. You just have to pay to use them. So basically, a bunch of these guys.
Is that the truth? Because every time I've gone to Disney, the mistake I've made is that I didn't act injured or handicapped and get a motorized scooter. Because we would wait for hours in the line, or we would wait for hours for a bus, and all it took was one guy to show up on a motorized cart, and everything clears. It's like Moses with the Red Sea,
difference between the
and I'm like, this is the mistake we made. Next time I'm getting a motorized cart, because everybody gets out. You just front of the line.
doesn't necessarily mean it. Two different things, actually.
Now you're a Disney snob, is that correct?
Yes and no. My wife and her
That's a yes.
family.
Have you gone there as an adult without children?
Yes.
That's all we need to
I
know.
mean, they only had a kid last year, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all we need to know. Whenever I see adults there with no children, I'm like, that's a different level of Disney love. That's because most people go there because they're guilted there for their children. You're taught you're a bad parent if you don't bring them to Disney. Okay. It's like, you're not cool if you don't have an Apple product. All right. And when I see adults there without children, I'm like, that's a different breed. That's a 3-dog person. That's a different breed right there. Like, that's a different, like, when you go there with children, especially when they have like a what do you call it, a stroller? That is not a vacation. That tests every bounds of your relationship. That tests every bounds of your sanity. When you can't move and you're amongst other people with the strollers and whatever.
That's when your true self comes out.
This is not the happiest place on earth.
No, in September we found that the like the Baby Bjorn kind of carrier thing.
Yeah.
That was the way to go.
Oh yeah. You mean for your wife, or are you talking about like
Well,
you put the child in?
Well, like in general, because like you can't have the strollers in lines. You can't have the strollers in line. So if you don't have the carrier,
Yeah.
you're holding your kid
Oh yeah.
the entire time in line, and
Yeah.
you're testing real back strength right there.
Dude, I've said forever, somebody's gonna become a billionaire because they're gonna come up with a car seat that doesn't affect your back. Meaning there's no unawkward way to carry that car seat, right? The way it hangs off and you have to lean over a little bit, it's just a pull on the lower back. It's a matter of time before that thing just gives, And so someone is gonna come up with some kind of a car seat that disconnects, comes out, and you hold it and it doesn't, and they're gonna be a billionaire.
You
Billionaire.
said that in front of your phones though, and
I know.
now someone's gonna do it.
I know, if you go for it. I just look 5%. That's all I want. 5%. Okay. Like, but that's a talk about solving a problem right there. But anyway,
Mm.
Disney's coming up. Anybody listening, if you've got the hookup, DM me. Okay. Haven't bought the tickets yet. The funny thing is I actually had a contact on Instagram once. They heard I was going to Disney, and I guess they had a major hookup there. They're like, no, I got you tickets. You're going to have the access to everything, whatever. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember like anything, because God, I wish I could reach out to them now and just be like, hey, I'm going with my 2 boys. What's up? But no, I don't have that anymore. I don't remember who that was. But anyway, what else on your list? What else you got? What else you got for us?
Uh,
Because I still got a little bit of
interrogate
time
them
before
on.
I got a board meeting to jump on. Before I do that though, I want to hear something because you had some good stuff on there. What else you got?
Oh, let's see. Well, the first thing you have here is Super Bowl. We just had that a few days ago.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Favorite commercials.
I didn't really watch them. I saw one which I
yeah.
like, the guy from Maverick, where they're doing the
Yep. Yeah.
like the music, and I'm like, that's so true. Like you start dancing to that music, and I liked that commercial. I didn't really see any others.
See, I like to categorize them, the ads, in two different categories because you have the commercials and then you have the movie trailers.
Okay.
That's true.
Because lately they've been using the Super Bowl commercials for a lot of like big movie trailers.
Didn't they do one for well, they did one for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
And then there was also one
so
for
they
the
did
second
so
season
they-
2 of what's it called? Baby Yoda.
Oh, Mando season 3.
Mando
comes out
season 3, season I
in
said season 2.
March.
I call it Baby
Sorry.
Yoda.
Sorry,
but I
Noah.
always- It's not right.
No,
so
I'm sorry.
I don't
It's not
know.
Baby Yoda.
No.
No.
I
Maybe
it's not
think
Baby
supposed to
Yoda.
call that.
It's not Yoda.
Well, don't tell me there's nothing we're not supposed to say. Baby Yoda, we're not supposed to say now.
Well, no, it's not Yoda.
We know that, but we all know the point. Here's my argument. Here's my argument. Here's my argument. The point of communication is that you say something and the other person knows what you mean.
Oh yeah,
When I say Baby Yoda, does not everyone hear? What's his actual name?
Grogu.
Okay, so I want you to go out. I want you to go out to 100 people, random. When you say,
Just
"What's your
famous
feeling on
famous
Grogu?"
female.
Grogu, is that it?
What?
Grogu.
Grogu.
What's your feeling on Grogu? And I want to see what % of those people know who I'm talking about. And then I want to go to those same 100 people and say, "How do you feel about
Baby
Baby Yoda? Who communicated better?"
Yeah.
It's good.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay,
See?
around here it's Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get yelled at all the time, but that's fine.
I'm supposed to remember Grogu.
Grogu.
Yeah, it's
But another movie trailer I enjoyed was The Flash, mainly because I'm not sure if you saw that one.
Did I hear someone's gonna be playing something in there?
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's gonna
Michael
be
Keaton is
Batman.
back as
Isn't he a
Batman.
little old? He's gonna be Bad Backman.
But it just they had
Tom's offended.
is that Tom's superhero name?
Tom. In my day, I would have come after you.
I don't know. Seeing Keaton with
I mean, it's super cool, brings
old
me
school
back.
costume, the old school Batmobile.
Come on, brings me back.
I'm not glad. I'm probably going to see it only because of him.
Pardon the pun, brings me back. Yeah, I mean, I'm awesome. I mean, but I loved, Jack Nicholson as the Joker. It doesn't mean he should play him in this movie. He's getting a little old. You know what I mean? So interesting. I mean, is he actually supposed to be like a superhero? Like we're supposed to look at him and think he has abs and like he's fighting crime, or is this like
Well, they got those.
he's telling a story and then he flashbacks
they
to
got
a
those
younger?
abs in the costume.
I wish I could use that on my vacation coming up. Are you kidding me? That's where it's at.
Like the fake ab costume.
Oh my God, the Batman costume. Everybody has abs in the Batman costume. Who doesn't have abs in the Batman costume? Like,
Well, I think that reminds me back when they first hired Henry Cavill, Superman. That one of the big reasons why they liked him so much was because he's one of the few actors that when they put him in the costume, he didn't actually look ridiculous in it.
yeah,
That actually he looked normal.
Oh.
Actually looked okay in it.
I got a good stat for you. You ready for this? Amongst the US population, okay, there are 22 million millionaires. Okay. There are 3 million people with abs. What do you think about that? It is more difficult to have abs than it is to become a millionaire.
Can I switch that? Because I kind of have abs, but I'd rather
Isn't that crazy?
rather
though?
not if that's the
Well,
alternative.
now I'm thinking of instead of the line, oh,
He goes, I'll give up the abs.
Give up the
For
abs.
she's like, I kind of have abs, so I'll take like 800,000.
Right.
I'll switch
Right, I'll
that up.
trade them in.
Yeah. But how about that?
So instead of money can't buy happiness, it's money can't buy abs.
Right.
Well, that was kind of the moral of the story was that like it was like, no, this is pure discipline. It also has something to do with genetics and whatever, but discipline, this, that, whatever. You can't buy it. Like it's just there. And less people have abs that are millionaires. There's some random facts for you. Huh?
Well, we in the office are trying to get abs, which
Are-
goes back
oh,
to
yeah, you guys have been doing that yoga.
yoga, and now we're on to Pilates.
That's when
which-
you put him in the rodent cage.
Yeah. Well, because he just kept trying to get on
Yeah,
Will's foot
Yeah.
with
Get it
that.
on with Will's foot.
Yeah,
I like it.
exactly. He was a
Yeah.
little too into it.
Yeah.
But I do commend Tom for trying the Pilates with his bad back, which
Well, here's the good news. You could always play Batman.
Yeah.
Even if you have a bad back, you're good to go. That is interesting. I was doing a call yesterday with the guy that runs Century 21 Canada.
Mhm.
And in the background, are you guys laying on the ground?
It's a good thing you couldn't
Arms
hear us,
up.
though.
You know, it just,
Wait, did he comment on it at all?
I got ahead of it.
Okay.
I got ahead of the story.
Okay.
You know, I pulled a PR stunt and I got ahead of the story.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
think
just so
could
you
actually
know,
see us,
when you
but
see a couple butts in the air back there, I said, you know, it's just, this is
Pilates.
what we do in this office. This is what we do. Yeah. And I let him know what was going on.
Well, Kris usually knows how difficult that session is by how many like groans and like noises he hears coming from that side of the room. Because
I would love to one day do like, so I have my floor routine that I do, which is not easy. Like when my kids go to the gym with me and we do the floor routine, they're like not happy that we're doing it. They're happy afterwards they did it. We should do that someday in the office. I'll
If you
bring
come in
you
and
guys
do
through
it,
my floor
yeah.
routine. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's
See,
rigorous.
When you say floor routine, I'm literally picturing more like, like Olympic, like
Gymnastics.
gymnastics.
No,
Like,
there's no
or-
tumbling. That would be your.
Yeah, yeah.
No, there's no tumbling. There's no flipping. There's
Like
no.
the movie Old School, the Will Ferrell.
It's
just
more
like
old
the,
school.
like the ribbon dance kind of a thing.
Well, I
For-
wasn't thinking
for
about the
his
ribbon
floor
dance, but it's more old school than no. It's just a lot of it's different. So it's 5 or 6 different core and ab routines,
Mhm.
all mixed in between every set. I do 20 push-ups between every set. When Linda does it with me, she does some other thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. But it's just kind of like a constant. And it's drudgerous. I mean, it's drudgerous, whatever.
See,
the
if
word
you'll
is.
come in one
It's-
day and do the Pilates with us, then another day we'll do your routine.
Yeah. But it's
And we'll
good. I
see
mean, you
which is
feel it,
harder.
especially if you haven't done it before, you'll feel it the next day in your stomach, your core, I do it because of my back issues, because of all the flights and the whatever. I have to work the core
Does it help with
constantly.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Tom and
have
could
to.
use that.
Yeah, I have to. That's why if I don't keep my core strong, guys, you got to remember how many flights, but I mean, look, I just
Yeah.
booked a thing coming up in March where I'm flying out to North Carolina, then I'm flying from North Carolina to Uruguay through Brazil, 35 hours worth of flight time.
Ugh.
I'm gonna be there. Then I'm 35 hours out over to Montana, and then I'm Montana back or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that's a lot of flight time, a lot of hotel beds, a lot of like my back will give, you know?
That's how we feel about our office chairs.
Wow.
Ooh, trying to sneak that in on the video.
Wow.
Sneak that in.
Didn't you bring that up to me one time?
We picked out some chair options
I
too.
bet you did. Have
We
I
did.
seen them?
No,
Oh, there you go. I
That
haven't
wasn't
seen
on the approved list of topics here.
it. Yeah,
Throwing that in there.
that wasn't on the. This is Andrea's last time on the show. I will look at chairs. Are they honestly no good?
Yeah.
Are they really not good? Like they're not comfortable?
I have to get up every like half hour.
Are they not comfortable?
Move
Several.
around.
yeah.
That doesn't help.
Are they actually not comfortable though? I've sat in them and I never thought they weren't comfortable. Are they not
But how
comfortable?
long do you sit in them for?
No, not long.
Okay.
Well, don't forget the conference room chairs are different than the desk.
Yeah,
chairs.
those are
Even
not
though I have to
comfortable.
go in there and I switch them out because there's one of them that doesn't really lean back. I'm like, no, I'm not about this life. I like a
Neither.
little lean.
Yeah.
I like a little, yeah, send it to me.
But, yeah,
I'll take a
no,
look.
no.
I'll take a
Okay.
look. It's worth looking at. Find me a deal.
You should come on this more often and just
This is gonna be her chance. All right, what else? Because I got like 2 minutes here. What else? Is there anything else on there we should talk about?
Oh, the good question. So, okay, we all know Tom has been with his wife. Don't look scared. Since middle school or high school?
Middle school.
Middle school.
Wow.
Okay, that's not the norm though.
No,
is
3
not the
years. They just
norm.
had a 3 anniversary. Yeah.
Right. But like, so if you knew your significant other in high school,
Mhm.
would you have dated them back then?
Okay.
Because I feel like most
okay.
the answer is no, minus someone like Tom and Delaney.
All right, so I did, and I got divorced. But would I have? Okay, so let me think about Linda right now. Would we have? I'm trying to think. Would we have? I'll be very honest. I think I was voted at one point back when you were allowed to do this, most likely to stay single.
He didn't listen.
Yeah, because I honestly think I was not very so I had a girlfriend in like 8th grade. She won like prettiest girl. She was very pretty, very whatever. I just didn't have any like long-term interest. I was too I would just get bored. Like remember that? You guys remember that Eddie Murphy movie where like he would like every girl he'd turn down because there was just something wrong with every girl, every little thing. He's like the toes, the this, the that, the whatever. I think it was called
Mhm.
Boomerang.
Kind of, yeah.
I just didn't have long-term interest. I would lose interest very quickly. And so I was so focused. I was working full time in high school, remember? you know, and then I went on to do things I do now, and I was working a lot and I was doing whatever. And I was very difficult to get me interested long term. I recognized girls I liked, you know, but it was just long term. So would I have? First off, I'm glad I didn't. I'll say that, because it would have been difficult to keep my interest back then. But would we have? That's very difficult.
Because it's like you're such a different person in
That's
high
what I mean.
school.
Because I'm like, is she like this now?
Right.
Because first off, like like with Linda, what I love about her is, you know, she's obviously a bombshell and the whole thing, boss babe, whatever, but she's sweet and like, you know, caring and always assumes the best. And like, you know, temperament is like just so good. Right. But then I think to myself, like, I didn't know her in high school. Was she or wasn't she? She was probably a lot more insecure then. Maybe that came off in different ways. Maybe, I don't know.
Like,
What's your answer?
I'm going to say no, because I know that back then Eric was too nice and a little bit of a pushover. And I don't think that would have gone over very well. Like,
Yeah,
now
that's what I mean. It's like, are you transforming them back to then that they are who they are now? Or are
No,
you
like,
do you think who they were back then?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
like me back in high school, I probably would have just, it would have been, I would have walked all over him. Now he can put me in my
That's
place,
interesting.
but,
That's
like,
interesting. You actually want to be put in your place.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I need that. So otherwise I mean, you guys seem
There's
to
a,
like
there's, by the way, there's a
angry.
point of that is still strength. Like it takes a strong person to want someone to be like, hey, you know, like I want, you know, whatever. But
Right.
yeah, that's interesting. What about you?
I want to say yes, but like, you know, I don't really know as much like what Danielle was like in high school.
That's it's so
But the
different.
big thing is, like, for example, like my high school, my graduating class was like 636 kids, and I'm pretty sure her entire high school was that size.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
we had a very different high school experience because of just like, you know, just the kind of high schools we were in. So I'm wondering if that alone might have also like contributed to like that kind of thing. I mean,
Do you know what's
I
funny?
would
You're
say I was
all
a big
focusing
nerd
on
back
them.
then. I mean, I was a big nerd back then. I'm a
Yeah.
nerd now, so I don't think that
You're kind of
impacted,
similar.
but
That's what I was
yeah.
going to say. Like you're all focusing on them. You're like, what were they like? Where were they at that point? Where were they?
No, Eric would have liked me.
And I'm like, you're just, the assumption is, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, it's a different social circles. Like you think about who your friends were back then and who their friends probably were, totally different.
Yeah, I feel like I would have ruined it. Like, meaning like I wouldn't have been thinking very long term or been, you know, like it just, like I said, like I was just kind of, you know, now I'm on to the next. I'm just, my head was, you know, I'm focused on other things, on whatever. So I'm kind of glad I didn't. And then also there's so many things that happen over the years that make you, they mold you and form you and mature you.
Right.
And you learn things, good and bad, about yourself that turn you into these people that make you like, this is what I'm into. This is what I like. This is what I needed to work on. This is what I need to. And you become like this, not perfected, but that's the word I'm using, like things where it's like a woodworker trying to put a piece in somewhere and they've got to shave this part off here and they've got to do this. I just had a tooth done, right? Because I had a baby tooth since I was little, right? And the guy, he's like literally putting it in and then he's like doing the thing, putting it in. He's just like keep shaping it. And finally it's a perfect fit. But as it was originally molded, even though it was a ton of money was spent on it, there was laser this done and all this technology, still wasn't right. And there was this little fixing that had to happen. You know what I mean? So on some level, for me at least, I'm kind of happy, although there's baggage that comes with it and there's, you know, other thing, whatever. I'm kind of happy that we didn't meet back then.
Everyone did.
Yeah. I'm kind of mad. I'm kind of happy we didn't meet back then. Yeah. That would be my answer.
All right.
Yeah. So on that note, guys, let us know in the comments below. What was the question? Would you have dated or would you want to have?
Yeah, if you knew your significant other back in high school, would you have been interested in dating?
Would you have been interested in your significant other in high school, knowing what you know now? Let's hear your answer. That actually is a very interesting question. You're bringing the interesting here. You might get invited back on next time you want new
I'll think of
desks.
some more stuff that we need.
Yeah, really. What do you want
for
next,
time.
huh? Special
figure it
milk
out.
in the office? You want
Well, we
like
got the office dog,
yeah. We got the office dog. That is true. Anyway, guys, make sure you leave a comment here, guys. Let us know about that. Leave us a 5-star. If it's not a 5-star, don't leave anything. Make sure you're subscribed. Share this with somebody. Just having some fun today, guys. Hope you're all well. Thanks for being on, guys. And again, clearedandclosed.com, clearedandclosed.com. I got to jump on a board meeting that I'm actually late for right now. But guys, thanks for being on. Seriously, maybe we'll do this again. There's a lot of fun, good conversation. So there's a question. Should they be back on? Comment yes or no.
Oh, no. Ouch.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you. Have a good one.